not normal. That's the wrong word I'm looking for. Person that's not in that scene.
Yep.
So, outsider, vanilla person.
Yeah.
Like, how pissed off did you get?
Yeah.
Thinking that people are like, no, this is what happens.
Yeah, it pissed me off a lot.
Yeah.
Because there were some times when people broke the rules, and I was out with my ex-girlfriend when we were still in that scene, and they would come up to us outside of the rules, break the rules, say, hey, I saw you here, and they'll be like, oh my god, did you see the 50 Shades of Grey film, or have you read the book, or, you know, whatever have you. The movie wasn't out back then. This is going back quite some time, but the fan fiction was there. So, you know, that was circling around the BDSM community for quite a while, and it really fucked me off. Like, I probably couldn't have been more mad at that point in time than anywhere else, because I was on a forum at the time called FetLife, and it's a good resource to look at, but don't take it as a Bible, because it's full of a lot of stuff there that isn't either important or shouldn't be important. But yeah, so basically they came up and they were talking about the Shades of Grey, and then when I got home over those next few months, people would be flooding the forums with 50 Shades of Grey questions. Granted, I'm happy they were curious, and I'm happy they were asking before going and enacting that stuff, but yeah, it was very wrong.
Yeah.
And it fucked me off.
Do you think that the author of the book actually had any fucking idea about what she was writing about?
No.
Even I got that from
from
the shit that I read about that. This is what happens, not just chatting with you right now, and reading the book. I was actually going to the movie. Sorry. And just hearing all that kind of shit. No, I had no idea.
I think it was her fantasy, to be honest with you. I think that was what she wanted to write, because it was her fantasy. She wanted to write about what it was. She may have done like 20 seconds of Google search, but I think that's
what are safe words done. Thank you.
That's the thing. I think if you're going to write a book like that, especially one that could rise to the popularity,
you need it to be informative.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people out there who write, books about things that aren't their field of expertise that still get it right by checking their sources.
You know, it's like people writing fantasy books. They can't go and ask a real fucking werewolf how they feel. You know, you have to make it up. But
I did ask zombies of their own mind.
You have to make it believable.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't understand the fantasy of wanting to be raped, because that's basically what she's written, is a book about being raped.
There is a rape fantasy. And I've seen it a few times being acted out, but it's not very common. It's a bit taboo even within the BDSM community of having that fetish. And typically what will happen is, say for instance, they get called... Okay, so let's set up a scenario. So say for instance, there's a meet, and there's, you know, a couple of 100 people or 100 people at a meet. The dom and the sub who are participating in that particular scene would be there together. The dom would go and tell the dungeon master, who's in charge of arranging events and scenes, what he wants to do, inform them that it's going to be a rape scene. And the one that I saw, and I was worried for a minute, and then I kind of registered, because obviously no safe words were used, but basically the stage was cleared out and cleaned. All the tools were cleaned, put back, whatever else. And then I just heard like this screaming, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because you hear screaming at those kinds of events, you go help. You stop what you're doing and you go help. You go find out what's going on. This girl was like over this guy's shoulder, and she was kicking and screaming, and he basically, you know, got her up onto the stage, you know, tied her up, and, you know, proceeded to play with her with toys. And obviously that wasn't an intercourse scene. Very, very, very rarely do they allow you to have intercourse at these things, but hers was as close you could get to rape without it actually being rape of penetration. Obviously rape of will is what was happening there, but yeah, I've seen that happen before. That is definitely a fetish. It's becoming more and more popular. You know, your most searched, or some of your top 10 searches on Pornhub, you porn, all the rest is rape. So it's definitely
I remember
popular.
watching a CSI episode on that.
Yeah.
They had that same kind of scenario. Was it CSI or Law? No,
Probably
CSI Dead Bodies. It was Law and Order, I think it was. Because they were talking about that, and the lady was like, I wanted to do something, but that went way too far, and she kept saying the safe words or whatever, and no one was listening. So it was a whole, everyone was fucking
Special Victims Unit. It was a sex club, and they were no, it was a play, and they were, and she was raped on the thing in front of everybody because they thought it was part of it. Nobody stopped it.
Which is
so in that type of situation, no safe words were said. So that's how we interpret it as a safe and consensual thing. And I remember I walked up to her afterwards, and I just asked her a couple of questions, like how she felt during it. You know, was it what she expected? Was it what she wanted? That's the biggest one. Was that what you wanted? And she said yes. So very, very much clearly that was what she wanted to do.
Cool, sweet. See you later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. I'm going to go have a drink now.
Consent and respect is basically the main things in this.
The main three is safe, sane, and consensual. Yeah, so you never want to go into this kind of thing in a bad state of mind. So if you've got bipolar or anxiety and depression, typically they're things you want to avoid because they can trigger you and you might not know what you're capable of yourself.
Yeah. You don't want to go in there thinking, I'm going to fuck everyone because that's what they want and I'm going to fucking do it.
Yes.
Because you're not.
No.
You're not. No. Cool. Well, I think that answered a fair few questions.
Any others?
Not that I could think of, actually, to be honest with you. Anything we missed?
I think just in summary, really, if you're wanting to get into the BDSM lifestyle, do your research. As I said, FetLife is an okay place to start looking. You can usually find people in your local area hosting munches, and just go into it with an open mind. And if you're not ready, that's completely okay. You're not going to be embarrassed or made to feel bad about it. And if you are, then that person's a fuckhead, and just ignore them anyway.
Yep.
So.
And also, if you do any of that stuff, go for gold. Just remember, as Nat said, it's safe, sane, consensual.
Yes.
So you can always say, no, I've done now, and now we'll stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they don't, then they're going to get beaten up. So it's fine.
Typically, if you're going to be doing that type of thing, one last thing I will say as well is if you're meeting a potential dom or sub, always tell a friend. And that's something that a lot of people have a bit of trouble with, but you need to tell someone that you're going out to meet someone in case something does go very wrong. Yeah. So the typical scenario would be, say for instance, I was going to meet someone and I'd never met them before, I'd met them online, rah, rah, rah. I would say, tell Bex. I would say, Bex, I'm going to this venue with Ra. This is his phone number, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting there at 7 p.m. If I don't text you by 7:15, something's gone wrong.
Okay.
And that's basically then when the friend would get involved and you take the necessary steps. So obviously if you think this is a pretty bad situation that your friend might be in, you would obviously call the police straight away.
Yeah, of course, especially
But it's very important to have a friend, someone who you don't have to tell the gory details to, but let them know what you're interested in, what you're doing, like as in obviously not what you're going to be doing, but you're going to meet someone, and have them as your backup, as your white card, basically.
Yeah, kind of like just like online dating. Anyway, you wouldn't just meet someone online and go, "Oh, we're going out for drinks." Whatever,
even if it's
fuck knows what's going to happen.
We've
seen so many stories.
Yeah, even if it's something like. I'll text you at 7:30 and you might use a keyword or a word that registers to your friend that you're in trouble. Yeah. Or it could be the complete opposite way. You might text your friend saying, grandma's good, and that could mean everything's
sweet,
going
lovely,
fine. But if you say something like, how's grandma? That might be the thing where your friend would call your phone. And you would then obviously make up a situation where you have to leave that person straight away.
So many dates of mine ended that way. Oh, I've got to go. I've got a friend who's...
I've got to steam my beans.
I left the laundry on the washing machine.
And just another basic point of call, really. If you're meeting anybody online...
Oh, absolutely.
You make sure that you do it in a public area where people can see you so that you don't put yourself in a situation where you're...
in risk.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and that's coming from someone who's literally all of her boyfriends have been from online dating. So
yep, I've had a few myself, and the best thing to do is, like Nat said, tell someone. Always tell someone, whether as she said, don't have to give them the gory details, but you do need to tell someone, and you go to somewhere public where there's lots of lighting that you can sit down and talk to somebody, and somebody can see you.
Coffee shops are fucking amazing because people go there for all sorts of reasons. You go there and you see people signing house contracts, you see people signing death certificates or whatever. You go there for anything. Coffee shops are great.
Yeah. And if you're not comfortable, go during the daytime.
Oh, always. I would say always go during the daytime. Yeah. Unless you've met this person before and like it's your second or third time meeting them and then you go on a date, that's a bit different. But always, I would say, meet during the daytime. Because then you also gauge what a person looks like. Because... quite often you won't see these people. They'll be like behind a mask, so you're going to want to know what their eyes look like, you're going to know what their face looks like, get to really know that person.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think that's about it really. I've got nothing else. once again, thank you.
Welcome.
Yes,
so very much for coming in and having a chat about it.
If you think of any more, maybe we'll do a part 2.
Yeah. Or if anyone out there has any questions or anything, feel free. Message me on Twitter. It's at Enozoria, or go to the website GRRS08E06. I'll put a little, I think there's a contact sheet down the bottom. Yeah. Feel free.
Everything's anonymous. We don't need to share your name if you don't want to share your name.
No, this is going to be some dude says this. Even if you're a chick, some dude says this.
Yeah.
This is the question.
Yeah. You know, you could be a girl named Alfred.
Yeah. We're going to make up names. Just fuck it. Yeah.
Don't be ashamed to be curious.
No, that's the big thing. Embrace your sexuality. Explore your sexuality, because nothing is shameful about liking sex.
No.
As I said, everyone's got their own little fetishes, you know? You got
like
midgets, amputees, whatever.
Like
go
I
for
said,
gold.
One of my very good friends has a golden shower fetish.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, anyway, I was going to crack a joke about taking the piss, but I thought, no, I'm going to leave it there.
Too late.
I'll leave it there. I'll leave that one just hanging. Just hanging. All right, so yeah, cheers, Snap.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And,
Thanks for having me.
As I said, if anyone has any questions, Gareth around space.
Thank
you very much for listening to this. Yeah.
Hit us up with some questions.
Yeah.
Happy to answer any.
Yeah, I normally would be in a
Ciao,
podcast.
Bella.
Yeah, normally in a podcast we can do like, hey, we're talking about this and this is. See ya.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Peace.
All right. Thank you once again, and Gareth's around Ramblings.space. We'll put some more information up there. Pretty much. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Enjoy
listening.
yourself.